Have you ever felt like the world of digital assets promised simplicity, but, well, ended up delivering a whole lot of complexity? If you're looking for a straight-up guide to a new kind of crypto that actually gets back to basics, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to break down the Zucoin and SplitChain ecosystem, giving you everything you really need to know as a new holder. So, here's how we're going to break it all down. We've got 6 key areas to cover. We'll start with the big opportunity, then dive into how you can actually trade with it. We'll take a look under the hood at the tech, check out some really surprising real-world uses, get a feel for the market, and then we'll finish up by looking at the grand vision for the future. Sound good? Let's jump in.
All right, first things first. To really get what's going on here, we have to talk about a pretty big problem that's been bugging the crypto world for years. A problem that Zucoins and its underlying SplitChain technology were specifically designed to fix.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever tried to send a small amount of crypto only to get slapped with a network fee that was bigger than the transaction itself, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We were all promised speed and efficiency, but that's not always what we got. So what if there was a completely different way to build the whole system? And here is the core difference. Think of a traditional blockchain like a huge, heavy freight train. Every single transaction, big or small, has to get coupled onto this massive, ever-growing train, and that just slows everything down. SplitChain, on the other hand, is more like a fleet of individual bullet trains. Each transaction is a direct, peer-to-peer trip, and the record is only shared between the sender and the receiver. This keeps the whole network incredibly lightweight and super fast.
So what does that actually mean for you? Well, it means you can send any amount of Zucoins, whether it's $1,000,000 or just a fraction of a penny, with absolutely zero network fees. Transfers are instant, they're direct, and the wallet itself is designed to be ridiculously simple. The whole idea is to make it accessible for everyone, not just the tech wizards.
Okay, so we've got this incredibly efficient, feeless network. Great. But how do you actually buy or sell Zucoins? Well, that's where the Zutopia marketplace comes into play. You've probably heard this phrase before in the crypto world, and for very good reason. If you don't control the private keys to your digital assets, you don't really own them. Simple as that. See, centralized exchanges hold your assets for you, which creates this massive point of risk. Zutopia was built from the ground up on the principle of self-custody, making sure that you are always in control.
Zutopia is really where that peer-to-peer idea comes to life. It's what we call a non-custodial marketplace, and that's a crucial detail. It means the platform never holds your funds. It's just a secure meeting place for buyers and sellers to connect and trade directly from their own wallets. This design massively reduces the risks of those exchange hacks and collapses we hear about all the time. So making your first trade is actually really straightforward. First up, you just connect your wallet. Zutopia doesn't store logins or anything like that. It just uses a unique signature for security. Then you find an offer that you like. The system then steps in to facilitate the trade, temporarily securing the Zucoins until the regular money payment is confirmed by the seller. The second they confirm it, bang, the Zucoins are released instantly into your wallet. It's a clean, direct, and really transparent process. Now, this is a really important point, so listen up. Sending and receiving Zucoins on the SplitChain network is always free. Always. But when you're on Zutopia buying or selling them for traditional currency like dollars or pounds, the payment processor, someone like Stripe, will charge its own standard fee. That fee comes from the payment gateway, not from the Zucoin network itself. It's a key distinction. Right, let's get a bit geeky and peek under the hood at the tech that makes all this possible. To really get it, we need to talk about a famous puzzle that's been stumping crypto developers for more than a decade. It's called the blockchain trilemma. For years, the thinking was that a network could be really good at 2 of these 3 things, but you could never have all 3. You could build something secure and decentralized, but it wouldn't scale for millions of users. Or it could be scalable and secure, but you'd have to make it centralized. You always had to make a sacrifice. SplitChain was basically designed to say, what if you don't have to?
So how does SplitChain try to solve this? Well, for security, it has a unique built-in 2-factor authentication that happens directly between the sender and the receiver, no middleman needed. For scalability, because of that fragmented design we talked about, the network actually gets more efficient as more people use it, making it capable of a mind-boggling number of transactions. And for decentralization, well, it's a true peer-to-peer network from the ground up, with no central points of control.
And that brings us right back to this powerful number 0, zero network cost. And look, this isn't just about saving a few quid on fees.
This is what unlocks the entire world of microtransactions. It makes the idea of buying a coffee or paying a tiny amount for some online content not just possible, but completely practical.
Cool tech is one thing, but it's pretty useless if you can't actually do anything with it, right? So let's have a look at some real-world examples of how SplitChain is already being used today.
So our first case study shows how this tech can be used to tokenize really unique real-world assets. And the project is called TurfStar, and it's all about digitizing thoroughbred racehorses. So here's the deal. A real, living, breathing racehorse is represented as a unique digital token on SplitChain. This means people from literally anywhere in the world can buy, own, and trade fractional shares of that horse. All of a sudden, this exclusive asset class that was pretty much only for the super rich becomes accessible to way more people. It's a perfect example of how tokenization can unlock the value of all kinds of real-world assets, from racehorses to real estate to even a piece of a business. It's also really important to get your head around what SplitChain isn't, especially if you're coming from the traditional crypto world. Because it doesn't use that long shared chain, it has absolutely no need for miners, no blocks to be added, and no staking. It's just a fundamentally different and much more direct way of doing things. Okay, so we've talked tech and we've talked use cases. Now let's shift gears and talk about the economics. What are the core principles guiding the Zucoin market?
A core principle of the whole Zucoin economy is provable scarcity. Just like Bitcoin, there is a hard, fixed limit on the total supply. There will only ever be 100 million Zucoins created, period. And this fixed supply is fundamental to its long-term value, because you simply can't just print more.
This quote really says it all, doesn't it? It captures the ambitious vision behind the whole project. The goal isn't just to be another crypto asset out of thousands. It's to compete at the very top by focusing on what many people see as Bitcoin's biggest weakness, its lack of everyday utility. The aim here is to create something people can actually use for daily transactions, not just something you hold onto like digital gold.
And finally, let's look to the future. Where is all of this heading, and what's the game plan for getting to mass adoption?
The roadmap shows a really clear step-by-step progression. The foundation? That's already built. Feeless, instant transactions are live. The next phase is all about using fractionalization. That's the ability to split a Zucoin into 32 decimal places to make microtransactions for things like buying a coffee a part of everyday life. From there, the focus shifts to rolling out simple tools for businesses to start accepting Zucoins, with the ultimate goal of building a global, decentralized economy for all sorts of tokenized real-world assets.
So look, that was a lot of information. As a new holder, what are the absolute key things you need to remember? Number 1, on Zutopia, you are always in control of your own assets. 2, you can send any amount, huge or tiny, with 0 network fees. 3, the technology is designed to actually work in the real world. 4, the focus is on long-term utility, not just short-term speculation. And 5, that fixed supply is a core part of the whole economic model.
You know, the original promise of all this digital asset stuff was to create a financial system that was more open, more efficient, and more focused on the user. This ecosystem is a powerful return to that original vision, making digital money simple, secure, and genuinely accessible for everyone. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.